Welcome to Heartfelt with Julie Margerison, a space for honest stories, tender truths, and soul-deep conversations. I'm your host, Julie Margerison, and here we explore the questions that stir something real in us. Questions about joy, fear, healing, and the moments that shape who we are. Each episode is an invitation to slow down, go deeper, and hear the kind of stories that remind us we're not alone in this human experience. So wherever you are right now, thank you for being here. Let's begin. Welcome to Heartfelt with Julie Margerison podcast. This episode has just been very spontaneous. Russell was going to come on with me for a Zoom meeting because I wanted his input in a project that we're setting up. And the other person didn't come on. So I went, well, let's have an impromptu catch up with my wonderful husband, Russell. Russell was in episode 5 and I asked him the 10 questions. So it is nearly a year ago since that happened. So let's touch base and see how he's going. Welcome, Russell.
Hello, Julie Margerison. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Russell is down in the shed. He's got the cockatiel Marvin and also the crows. So you might hear a little bit of nature come in, but are you all okay down there?
I'm fine. I've also got the chickens down here as well, so they're walking around, but they don't make much noise though. They just eat a lot and don't lay any eggs at the moment.
Well, we have 3 chickens and we're getting 1 egg. So Blackie is the egg layer and the other 2 are actually molting. And it's sad that we lost Allie, and Allie now we see she was the matriarch, and the 3 chickens actually went through a bit of mourning. So, which was sad. Yeah. Allie was the littlest, but she was the biggest in energy.
She was the queen chicken.
She was. Russell's in the shed where he has been very cleverly making these pyramids that I stumbled across in January, and I was lucky enough to buy one when we were traveling. And then Russell said, I can make them. And I went, wow, can you? Because I have had such an amazing experience with it, and I just really love the crystal on top, and whatever crystal I choose that goes in my little pouch that sits on top of my crown. And then being in the pyramid structure really gives me the feeling of safety, and it helps me get into that meditation state, and I feel really, really grounded. I just heard Marvin then. Yeah, so it has been a wonderful experience for me because this is something that I wanted when I wrote in My Way to Happiness back in 2007, and it was just about having a teepee, and I never thought in a million years that I'd actually have a pyramid for myself. So I'm pleased that I got it, and I'm so grateful to you, Russell, for putting all these hours in to make them.
Well, thank you. It's funny, you know. I'm learning about the universe, and I'm learning about manifestation and stuff like that, manifesting things. And when Julie wanted the pyramid, and all of a sudden we were going away on holidays, and she could pick it up near where we were heading, so we went and got it. And then I looked at them and said, I could actually make those. And somebody I know was moving house, so they gave me all these like drop saws and circular saws and all this sort of stuff. So all this equipment has been sitting in my shed doing nothing since when this person gave it to me, which was only about 6 months ago. So it's just, you know, For me, coincidental, but for Julie, it's the universe, and I'm starting to actually become part of the universe, and because we had all these things sitting there. Julie wanted this thing. We were going down that way. We picked it up. I could do that. I've got the equipment. It's starting to sway in that direction, my love.
I can feel a little bit of resistance there, but it's okay. Russell is learning so much, and he still has a resistance, but he's starting to be open to this receiving. And in my journey since 2019, 2020, I didn't even understand the word of receiving. I was just always used to giving and giving, 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 and having things taken from me. And I just thought that was the normal. And I can remember being taught this with a lovely man by the name of Gabriel. And I will be writing about Gabriel in my book, Embracing My Uniqueness. And Gabriel was a huge part of me learning how to receive and also be aware of the takers in the world. And wow, it really made an impact on my life on so many levels. And I'm really looking forward to opening up about that in my book. I am actually a bit unsure whether embracing your embracing your uniqueness will actually have a sealed section because it really unearths stuff for me in my womb and my sacral area. And oh, I'm getting goose pimples because it's really important. It has been a really important part of my journey. And I don't know what it looks like as I talk about it. So I'm really sitting with it at the moment. But it's about receiving, and Russell and I mirror each other a lot. And I know this goes over Russell's head a little bit, but he is getting better at understanding. Russell came from a relationship that he was only used to takers, and he was also a very good people pleaser. And through a lot of our triggers in our relationship, it's Russell's not open. Well, he wasn't open to receiving, and he was so used to so-called the control of the taker. And for me to actually say, Russell, you actually have to say what you want. That was a trigger for him because he would actually think, oh my goodness, this is a trick question. I'm going to get it wrong. What does she really want? And it's like, Russell, it's not about me, it's about you. And when it came to Russell having to buy a car, a brand new car for the first time in his life, it was very triggering. Can you remember that, Russell?
Yes, I can. Thank you. Thank you for bringing it back up again.
Is it another trigger?
Yeah, no, not anymore. Not anymore. You should actually mention about the lovely picnic you took me on, and then I had to start changing things because I was not used to receiving.
Yeah, that was the first time I wanted to take Russell on a date rather than Russell take me on a date. And I just said, I'm going to pick you up 4:30 on this Friday afternoon, and Russell really struggled because he didn't know where we were going. He was trying to say this, do that, and I'm just going, no, you've just got to sit in the car. You're on the date. And he really struggled. And what we did is we went and watched a beautiful sunset at Caloundra. And I'd had the picnic set and the blanket. And oh, I tell you, it was such a struggle street for Russell to receive. And thank you for bringing that up because that was a really big moment in our lives to see, oh my goodness, Russell, you cannot receive. And then after that, I took him back to where we first met in our meetup group when we were first just both of us were over the dating apps and we just wanted to go out and socialize with single people. So we happened to join the same meetup group and we went to Parkland's Tavern and Russell had a choice of sitting next to me or sitting next to my housemate Judy. And I guess I've got to be fortunate he sat next to me. But it wasn't long, and he was sitting next to me, and I actually asked for a gluten-free menu. And Russell, in all his wit, says, "Oh, are you one of those?" And I just smacked him one. And I said, "Yes, I am." And I think that smack actually was like, "Oh, I actually like this lady a little." And yeah, so he's got very used to me asking for gluten-free menus now, and I am one of those.
Yes, so I remember it all very well. Thank you, Darley. Yes, very, very true. It was a smack, and it was a wake up, and here we are, 5 years, 6 years later, very, very happy
Yeah,
and
very,
married.
and still married. Yeah. Is there anything that you can reflect on that you feel has changed for you over the last year since Julie Margerison has come so public?
I guess for me, it's seeing the people on your show that you interview during the podcasts, and a lot of them say how much they love your podcast and how great it is to have it out there because it's helping people and making people realize that their story does matter. And I see you grow as a person, internally and externally with it. The nervous little lady that was on a year ago to now your interviews are very confident, very um yeah, there is another word, I can't think what it is, but yeah, very confident. You know what you want to say, you know how you want to come across, and it's just incredible to see your journey in that time. For us, it's been a great um, learning curve for both you and I. To see Julie Majerison grow from the podcast to now the website to rewriting the book to writing your next book to community groups, and where the future is going to be is to me unknown, but to you have a set goal and you're manifesting it, and and I fully respect and support you in whatever you're doing, because I see how you glow when you talk about what you do, and it's just, I don't know, it makes me really happy that I see my wife so happy. So I think, so to answer your question, the growth in both you and me the last year and the Julie Majerison name has, I believe, grown immensely in 1 year.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm going to say it was Friday morning. We didn't actually have to set the alarm, and we actually just were lying in bed cuddling. And I was just saying to Russell about what gets me out of bed every morning. And Julie Majerison gets me out of bed because I like making a difference and I like the self-discovery journey that I'm on. And I was saying to Russell that it's like we're metamorphosing, and then Russell, he just put it. Can you remember the words you said, Russell?
Oh, I think that we're in a cocoon here in Gympie, ready to become a butterfly and spread our wings and travel, and move and stuff like that. But we're just sitting here now, just just growing. There is a word, but I don't want to say it because I probably won't pronounce it correctly. So metamorphosis, is that what it is?
Yeah, I had trouble saying it too. Yeah. So I feel like before we got married, we were that caterpillar, two single caterpillars, and then we've gone into that cocoon. And when the universe sees it right and how nature unfolds, the cocoons will crack open and then we'll be those butterflies. And I just so love that Russell could actually see that, and he was the one that could see that. And I see that as there's a lot of C's in that, but I can really see that Russell has grown and might even be talking a little bit universe-like.
Yes, yes. I've had a few lessons.
I do I do speak about staying in my fence, and there are times that I can see I jump over the fence and try and say, Russell, you need to be doing this. And then it's like I can see my old self, and it's like, nah, I've got to jump back in my fence. So I do jump back in my fence, and Russell ends up being where he needs to be. And it is beautiful, beautiful to watch. And yeah, so I'm very grateful for you sitting beside me at Parkland's Tavern all those years ago and for holding space for me. And also, even though you mirror me, it does bring chaos and it does bring a bit of uncomfortable living in there, but the growth that comes out of it is the best. And I feel like having that experience is what really cements in me the best. So thank you.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. I actually just noticed while I was looking at you, and I could see myself that a year ago when we were doing, or nearly a year ago when you and I were having our my first 10 questions, and this is spontaneous. I've actually got the same shirt on,
Ah, have you?
so I
Wow.
well, I do have more than one shirt. Just want to let everyone know.
Maybe this is your heartfelt podcast shirt. Wow, I didn't even realize that because this is very spontaneous. Like literally, we were jumping on to have this meeting that the person's obviously forgotten. So I'm going to trust the universe and say this was meant to be. So you've got to turn what looks like into a negative, turn it around into a positive,
Yeah.
and here we are. Now, Russell, is there anything else that you'd like to share about your growth that you've been aware of over the time you've met Julie Margerison?
No, but I'll go back to well, yes, of course there is, but I'll go back to the thing you just said about benefits, and I went and did a 6 week course on mindfulness and for men, and it was incredible learning. What we'd do, we would sit there and we'd all have a little chat, and then we'd just have a little bit of quiet time, and then we would talk, and it was like a men's group, and we would do meditation and we would do yoga and all that sort of stuff. But one of the main things that I got out of it was one of the talks that the teacher said was that expectations, like when you go camping, let's say, and it rains the whole weekend, you can sit there and you can be cranky that it's raining. You can be sitting in your tent going, "Oh, this is awful. Oh, we can't go and do anything," and so on and so on. So you've now turned that expectation into a negative, where you could turn that expectation into a positive, and you can go, "Oh, it's good it's raining because we need to get a bit of water. We need some rain to fill the tanks and everything like that. This gives me time to sit with my wife, or gives me time to finish that book." So I've turned it now into a positive. So my expectation since that point in time, I now turn everything into a positive. It really changed my whole outlook on life when I'm very much have expectations, and I try not to do it, but I do it all the time. But now my expectations are always positive. Even that red light. You know, I get a red light and I go, but the red light's there for a reason. It's there to keep me safe from the other cars. It's there to keep the flow. It does everything. So my must admit, it doesn't always work, but I red lights and me are nearly friends. But my expectation in life has changed since out of that whole 6 week course. I learned so much, but that's the biggest thing that I got out of it was that, and that stillness, that quietness, to have nothing in your brain, like to have that moment like that where there's no noise, there's nothing, and it's just complete emptiness. And your brain, it's such a great feeling. And you know, when Julie and I tried to do it, where we've been a little bit busy recently, but we were doing yoga, and when we're doing yoga, we have the meditation and we have the quiet time and all that sort of stuff, and it just brings us down. And now hopefully with these pyramids, we can actually get all the power that comes from them and clear our minds a lot more, and be a lot more, I don't know, better in ourselves.
Yeah, more internal, more internal.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautifully said. And so it really sounds like you have integrated those practices since having your 6 week meditation course.
Oh, yes, very much so. And I would
Not meditation, it was men's mindfulness course.
men's mindfulness,
Yeah.
yes, yes. And it was with Christian. I can't remember. He was on your podcast. I
Yeah.
don't remember what episode it was, but
I'm going to say episode 23. Let's see if I'm right. Oh, 22.
oh, you were
Episode
close.
22. I was close. Yeah.
So yes, it was, and it was a great episode too. So if you want to go back and watch episode 22 with Christian, he was he's incredible, and he spoke very well, and he didn't, when Julie approached him, he didn't want the 10 questions that Julie asks. He wanted his own questions about things, which really made the show completely unique.
Yeah. Yeah. And life has been very much in the road of, preparing other things. So we do want to go down and experience a Sunday morning with Christian. And yeah, so it is on our list to achieve, but it just hasn't happened as yet.
No, because we have grandchildren.
Yeah, that's right. The grandchildren really are on top of the list. Yes, and grandpuppies.
Oh yes, grandpuppies. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, Russell. Well, thank you very much for giving me this time and for us to have this little impromptu chat. I've really enjoyed it. I've actually had a few little tears come.
Ah,
So
thank you.
I'm so proud of you. And I really, 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 from the bottom of my heart, really appreciate all the support you do give me. And I just I'm just so humbly grateful for that.
I'm proud of you too, and I love you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing this moment with us. I hope something in this conversation stayed with you, opened something up in you, or simply made you feel seen. If this episode moved you, feel free to share it with someone who might need it too. And if you like to continue the journey with us, be sure to subscribe and stay connected. Until next time, take care of your heart and remember your
Your
story
story
matters.
matters.
Yes, your story matters. Thank you, Russell.